Good morning. This is the second of my three videos that I'm doing on Prime Minister Modi's recent state visit to America. In this, I will talk of the deliverables. But before I do that, there are two assumptions that need to be underlined. One assumption has been made by the American side, which is that President Biden has taken a long bet on Prime Minister Modi staying in power, because the four key deliverables that I'll be talking of, they all have a gestation period of something like 5 to 6, 7 years. That means that the American establishment believes that in the 2024 general elections in India, Modi will come back to power as the Prime Minister to maintain continuity. The second assumption is of the Indian side, a threat assessment made by the Indian military. As everybody is aware, there is a standoff going on in the Himalayas between the Indian military and the PLA since the last 3.5 years. Now, the assumption is of the Indian military that a worst case scenario there with the PLA is a short border war for which the Indian military is prepared. And it has been said in so many words recently by the Chief of Defense Staff, General Anil Chauhan. He was giving a talk where I was present, and he said that a full fledged war is a low possibility. He was referring to China. Now, let's get on to the deliverables. The first one, both sides have signed a ship repair agreement. Now, this is about maintenance and repair of US warships, not on a case to case basis, but on a permanent and a regular basis at Indian shipyards and Indian dockyards. Already, individual agreements are being signed. Americans have signed one with L&T shipyard near Chennai. And as I speak, one of their ships, which is their rescue ship, USNS Salvor, is docking there. And we are told very soon two more will be signed with Ministry of Defense shipyards in Mumbai, MDL, and the Goa shipyards. So the point here is that India has something like 27 shipyards, small and big, in the private sector, in the public sector. So it is up to the Americans to see which shipyards they want to use. And I'm certain that after this broad agreement, individual agreements can then be signed with all those shipyards as well. What is the purpose? That has been explained by the Pentagon spokesperson, Brigadier General Rydell. He says that these shipyards will provide the logistic hub for the partner navies. Now he has increased the ambit. It is no longer, as far as he is concerned, about the US warship, but also the partners, which is the Quad partners. So all those navies now can have a foothold here for repairs and for maintenance. And he goes on to say that more to follow. So what is this more to follow? That has been answered by a former, well-known, very prominent CNC of the US Pacific Command, Admiral Harry Harris. He said, commenting on this agreement, the ship repair agreement, according to him, currently we is the US Navy, we operate from Diku Garcia and Western Australia in the Indian Ocean. Securing a maintenance, repair, and logistic hub on the subcontinent, which is the Indian subcontinent, is significant, and this would give much needed flexibility in the vast Indian Ocean. What is this flexibility he is talking of? Well, flexibility is flexibility in combat. Because I recall in 2015, when he was about to take over as the CNC of the Pacific Command, I had an opportunity of a longish interaction with him in Delhi. And at the end of it, I asked him, I said, Admiral, so many exercises are going on, Malabar series exercises between the two navies, US and Indian. What is the end state you are looking at? And he said, we are looking at joint patrols. Joint patrol is joint combat patrols. So once India signed all the foundation agreements, the four of them with America, then in legal terms, as far as things were concerned, India is not a NATO ally. India is not even a non-NATO ally. India is merely a major defense partner, a status it was given in 2016, only nation to get that status. Nobody knows what it is about that besides. So now it is part of the defense network of America after the foundation agreements. And the big thing that has happened now is after the ship repair agreement that all these US and perhaps the Quad ships as well, now they will get a foothold for repair, maintenance, and perhaps they may even be using some of our bases. For example, for the bigger vessels, even why not the naval base INS Karwar, INS Kandabani, which is in Karwar, that could also be used. Long and short is, India has provided military bases to America for their operations in Indian Ocean region, period. Second deliverable. This is about India having decided to buy 31 Sea and Sky Guardian drones from America. Forget about the cost, which is too much. Forget about they being outdated. They are technology is moving very fast, software technology. They are not in sync with it. The key thing is India will be paying for these 31 drones, Predators and Reapers as they are also called, for an objective and operational objective, not of its own, but of the Americans. This is the point. Why I'm saying that is because India already has 12 P8Is, which are actually enough for its ISR and maritime domain awareness. P8I provide anti-submarine warfare, anti-surface warfare, maritime domain awareness. They can be 4 hours at station and they cover an ambit of 1,200 nautical mile. This is that ambit the area where the Indian Navy has ships of this much endurance. So you only go for detection, tracking if you have the kill capability as well. So India will not have kill capability beyond this. So buying Predator is basically for the Americans. We'll explain this. Now a total of 31 are coming. According to the Navy Chief Admiral Hari Kumar, he says that 10 will come off shelf, 21 will be assembled here. Therefore, of the offset money, the General Atomics Company of America, which are the owners of this, manufacturers of these drones, they will be setting up the MRO, which is the Maintenance, Repair and Operations Center in India for these drones. Now, so where will they be held? And mind you, no technology is getting transferred. I don't believe that at all. Where will they be held? So they will be held centrally. Unlike all the reports which are saying that half of them will go to the Navy, then the remaining will be given to the Air Force and the Army. Why I say that centrally is because at the same talk that I am referring to of the Chief of Defense Staff, Anil Chauhan clearly said that we are looking at integrated ISR. That means operationally they will be held at a central place, and until that central place is decided, a structure is created or decided, that means until then administratively they could be with the services. Now what will they do? Because after all, as explained by Admiral Hari Kumar himself, he said that now, they can look at the entire Strait of Hormuz to the Strait of Malacca, which is 2,500 nautical miles. So now we can see a lot of area. Okay, you can see a lot of area. Then what? So then what will happen is India already has what is called a information fusion center. This was set up in 2018 primarily for the 12 P8Is by India. It is also called the Information Management and Analysis Center, where already there are liaison officers from 20 nations, friendly nations, which include the Quad nations, France and UK besides other. And what they are doing is they are doing fusion here. As the name implies, fusion of what? Fusion of data, converting the data, looking at the patterns and making it into information, which is intelligence. So now what will happen is, because now we have these predators and collecting whole lot of information, data feeds, video feeds, perhaps they will all come at one place in the area of responsibility that India has. Why I'm saying this is because a significant agreement was signed recently. Recently is at the last Quad Summit in Tokyo in May of 2022, where the partner nations signed what is called the Indo-Pacific Partnership Agreement, under which the Quad nations, the Southeast nations, which are the allies of America, and the Pacific nations have been distributed the maritime domain awareness area by the Americans. So India will get this expanded area now of the maritime domain awareness. Those data feeds will come at the perhaps the fusion center. And then another thing that is to happen is that undersea cables are being put. That has been agreed that all the partner nations to keep the data cyber secure, cyber secure undersea cables will be there, and then there will perhaps be a fusion center where to see the big data. Now it is very big data, make it into a big picture. Artificial intelligence will be used, and then perhaps the Americans can decide what sort of intelligence is to be given to which partner in their defense network. So this is the second thing that has happened. Now, the third deliverable is about engines. There is a lot of glee in India that GE General Electric 414 engines, the technology will be transferred now to India, and people are talking of 80% of technology coming to India. As we are aware as a background that these engines, 99 of these will be used, the GE 414 for our LCA Mark II. LCA is the light combat aircraft, and they will also power the AMCA. AMCA is the advanced medium combat aircraft. This will be powered. This is a stealth fifth generation aircraft of the for the Indian Air Force. But this thing about transfer of technology, I'm quite happy to take a bet with anybody that nothing of that sort will happen. You can get it from GE, the engines, you can get from Safran, the French company engines, for the simple reason that no country gives away its key technology IPRs to any country, even if they are their allies. So things like turbofan, things like casing, things like metallurgy, composition, composites, don't expect the Americans to give this to us. At best, we'll get is something like 10% of technology, which is tooling and maintenance technology. Nothing more than that will come. Now, my last key deliverable, very interesting, and this is called ICET, which is the Initiative on Critical and Emerging Technologies. A bit of a background before I talk what this is about. The background is that the character of war is changing very fast. War is no longer, it will no longer be where the human control all the machines, the tanks, the aircraft, all the machines are controlled by humans. Now we are looking at a war where there will be human-machine collaboration and there will be human-machine teaming. And how this will happen is, this will happen by 5G and artificial intelligence. We are looking at a robotic war, which the Americans are calling Joint All-Domain Operations, and they have given another name to that, which is the Integrated Deterrence. Now, since India is part of the defense network, it has to be brought to that level that it is able to operate in their networks. So this is again an American requirement, but yes, I must concede the Indian side will end up learning a lot about the basics here. So once we understand that, look at ICET. ICET was basically operationalized by the two NSAs of India and America in Washington in January this year. When I say operationalized, it means that they selected the technologies which are relevant for this joint all-domain operations. And the two key technologies are 5G and AI. Now, of course, in the list, they have given more. They have given even 6G, they have given quantum computing. See, quantum and 6G are futuristic. They are not happening today. They should only be seen as lollipops, nothing more than that. But yes, these two are relevant and they are emerging technologies.